Hello again, it's Sam Buban here at Joseph Buban's YouTube channel. I was doing a series on Meet Your Candidates. Here with me today is Rebecca Saxe, and she's running for Justice Court of Las Vegas, Department 13. Rebecca, thank you for joining us
Thank
today.
you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
My pleasure. I was gonna explain first to our Filipino American and foreign viewers the difference between the U.S. judicial system and the one they are familiar with in other countries. I was explaining to my brother in the Philippines not too long ago. Uh, he was a city court judge for a long time, and he was also a college professor in a college of law. I was explaining to his students on one of the banquet gathering that there are judges that we are endorsing in the November election, and they were like shocked, like what judges are being elected over there? I said only the state judges. That means like if you're a judge for the state of Nevada or the county or the city, which we call state judges. And I said, but the federal judges are appointed by the President of the United States with the confirmation from the Senate. So be aware of that, and be familiar why there are names of judges in the Clark County ballot. Okay, all right. Now, having explained that, Jessica, tell our viewers, what does Department 13 do? What kind of cases ends up at the Department 13 court?
And I really thank you so much again for having me, and I really appreciate that question because that's one of the things that I encounter most in speaking with voters is that people do not know what Justice Court does. So first off, Las Vegas Justice Court covers every single person with a Las Vegas address, which is over 800,000 people. So the Department 13 is just the number of judges. There are 13 judges, and those judges cover all of Las Vegas.
13 judges. Okay.
The current department right now, Department 13, handles criminal matters. And so in that department, that Justice Court judges are the ones that determine whether somebody who's arrested gets out of jail or not. They also determine whether there's enough evidence against a person to allow the prosecution to proceed. It is one of the most likely people that any person in our community will encounter between the police officer and your Justice Court judge. Those are the people that you're most likely to encounter if you live in Las Vegas. And so it is incredibly important that we make sure that our judiciary and the people in our community are educating each other on what Justice Court does, because you want to make sure that if you appear in Justice Court, that the person you're appearing in front of is going to treat you fairly and with respect.
All right, yeah. Is this a newly created branch, or it's been in existence?
It is not newly created. No, it's been in existence for a while. They keep adding departments as the population of Las Vegas grows. But yes, it has been around for quite a while.
All right. So, what legal experiences makes you qualified to be a judge for Department 13?
Thank you for that question. So, for the last almost 12 years, I've been an attorney at the Public Defender's Office. I'm a Chief Deputy Public Defender. And as a public defender, my work is, for those who don't know, is to represent people in criminal cases who cannot afford an attorney. I have handled over 2,000 cases in Justice Court, and I appear in Justice Court almost every day, both addressing whether someone gets out of custody or not, whether there's sufficient evidence, and other kinds of evidentiary hearings that occur in Justice Court. I also, prior to that, worked at the ACLU of Nevada, and brought awareness to the fact that the Nevada prisons were shackling pregnant women during childbirth. As a result of my reporting, they have now prohibited that practice, which I'm very grateful to know and hear. But most importantly, I think it's important to have judges who practice in justice court, who understand what is, the process. And again, I practice at justice court every single day and have handled thousands of cases in justice court.
Thank you for that, walkthrough on your qualification. As a matter of fact, I am thrilled to know that you had worked as a public defender. You imagine, I was telling my nephew who comes from who is a law student at top school in Manila, and I said, nephew, I think I would really be, excited if you start your practice in the public defender's office. I said that's where true, scene and defense in the court, and it's gonna be your roadway to, if you want your own criminal practice, start at the public defender's office. He was looking at me like, but there's little money on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's where the heroism and the dedication is. If
Absolutely.
you start there, public defenders are the least paid lawyers if you have choices, but very few people take it because of their, the only people who goes there to really serve are because of their passion,
Right.
For the community. So, what made you decide to run for judge on Department 13?
There are several reasons, but as I said, I practice in justice court every single day, and I see the opportunities in justice court for change that will both improve people's lives and also make our community safer. I think all too often judges sometimes rely on incarceration because it's an easier way to deal with something instead of addressing and trying to address the underlying issues. I know as a public defender that if I have a client who, for example, may have stolen something and charged with stealing, and they don't have a job, I know that if I help them, direct them to job training where they can get a job, that's going to decrease the likelihood that they are going to commit another crime. It's going to improve their lives and improve the lives of their family. And I think as a community, that's what we all want. So that's really the reason I'm very passionate about helping our community. And I'm also raising a family here. I have a son who's going to be 3 on October 10th. And thank you. And my mother, who's 75, moved here from Wisconsin about 10 years ago. So I care about our community and want our community to be safe. But I think that relying primarily on incarceration actually makes our community more unsafe, because that person then, when they get out of custody, and remind everyone that 99% of people that go to jail are going to get out at some point and return to the community, and that person is going to get out with no job, maybe no house, there a lot of instability, and those are the sort of circumstances that will increase the likelihood that someone reoffends. So I think that there are a lot of opportunities, and also I wanted to run for judge because I think we need to have judges who are in the community and engaging with the community, not just every 6 years when we're up for election, but all the time. My hopes would be that if people that appear before me maybe have seen me, maybe I've met them, they've seen me in the community, and they know that I'm going to treat them with respect and treat them as a person, and they trust that I'll be fair.
Thank you, and you actually answered already my next question, as I was gonna ask you what changes for the better for the community you want in your court. So I think you already addressed that and even expounded on it. And okay, Rebecca, last word from you for our voters.
Again, thank you so much for having me. I think it's incredibly important to be educating people about how important some of these races are, and I would argue that justice court is one of the most important races. I will be the very last name on your ballot, so what I tell people is just start at the bottom and work your way up, and I really hope that I can count on your support and earn your support for this election. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then Again, thank you for joining us, and reminder, exercise your right to vote, and if you haven't registered to vote and you are eligible to vote, please do so. Okay, register to vote. There are many people standing in some areas, even at supermarkets, or you want to register to vote, please register to vote, and get involved, get engaged.
And you can
And-
register on the same day as elections, so you don't need to. You can register the November 8th. So, yeah, no excuse not to be voting if you're eligible.
Correct. Nevada is one of the few states that has same-day voter registration. So be there and exercise, vote on 2022, November 8th. Okay, or early voting starts on October 22nd
Yes.
until November 4th.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on our next episode.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.